There is a fifth dimension.
A dimension of sound.
Damn it, Frank! We tell him to be quiet. I spilled my hot cup of Uranus again.
A dimension of sight.
Hey, Arch. I'm gonna sock you in the puss.
A dimension of mind.
Nan Adams, is that you?
Next stop, the Twilight Zone.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Fifth Dimension of Twilight Zone podcast. I am your host, Nick, as always. We're back to talk another episode of the Twilight Zone. We're technically in the Twilight Zone right now because we're recording like 6 weeks ahead of time. So this episode might premiere like in the middle of the apocalypse. I can't entirely tell. But if you want, the audio feed is still available. So if you want to reach out and touch us or in the sounds of our voices, you know, you can do that by Anchor and was iTunes and Amazon and Google Play and Cups of Uranus and
Kalima.
everything. Kalima, yeah.
Touch.
You know, touch me. I want to get there.
You can touch these
no.
two. I'm a little bit harder to touch because I don't exist technically.
Oh, I can reach out and touch the 1,000 subbed woman that is Triv from Trivial Theater, which happened like 3 to 4 months ago. But hey, Triv. Yeah.
She is now at 2,000 subs.
Yeah.
I know. She's now actually past both me and Jacob and will no longer be doing the podcast because she feels too important now.
Oh, hardly.
I love it. No, seriously.
Son of a bitch.
Even though this happened like when we were recording, like, I don't know, the first episode of the actual podcast. Congratulations, Triv, on the 1,000
cheers.
subscribers. That's
Thank
awesome.
Yes.
Thank
You can
I
now-
appreciate it.
You can now make 30 cents per like every 1,000 video, you know.
I have to build up my hours before I can even begin to get to that point. So I'll talk to you when I got 400 or 4,000 public watch hours, and then we'll take
She'll
it.
probably have
Oh.
like a $35 CPM or something like that. And get
I know,
paid, like,
right?
bank on like hardly any views. There's
Yeah.
people like that out
10
there.
years from now.
No, there's
I can
people
only
out there.
imagine.
It's all based on your content. They get like
My
some
fucking
crazy,
content.
some fucking crazy CPM on their content. Like they're getting paid $50 per 1,000, and it's like,
Wow.
Jesus, you don't even have to get that many views, and you're getting paid pretty good. I mean, most people
Woohoo.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I make it like $1 per CPM or whatever.
I mean, you've
From-
seen how successful
Damn.
Red Letter Media is with their, million sub channel. I'm sure, I'll be right up there with them. They can afford like cardboard boxes and things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, that's the funny with
They must
like
be
the
frugal.
big channels. They make all their money off product placements and ad reads. They don't make any hardly like they make money off YouTube, but it's all fucking selling merch and shit. So that's why they like
Raid
hawk all
Shadow
the-
Legends.
But that's more consistent. You don't have to worry. Like you can make your money and you don't have to be completely reliant on YouTube. So diversified
Well-
streams are not a bad thing.
I'm gonna start hawking my wares on analbees.com or some shit. Just to,
Let's start
Vibrating
hawking
anal
loogies
braids.
on anal beads. That's what I'm gonna do.
I
Go
mean,
do
I'm
videos of
sure
it.
we can find a perfect
Totally.
spot in Chicago or something for you, Triv, to hawk your wares.
Lovely.
You know, the Wild 100s or
Hack
something.
your wares in Chicago.
And Chicago, eh?
Yeah.
The Bears.
Bill Braske.
Dicka.
Okay.
Dicka.
Dicka.
How do I
Having
hit
a
a
heart
video?
attack. Never
So how you
mind
guys,
me. Just having a heart attack.
anyways, so how you guys doing
Awkward
tonight?
silence over.
I
Yes.
know, right?
Awkward silence
So-
achieved.
Yeah, right. So once again, thanks to Dan for coming on the last episode to talk a good amount of content when it comes to what episode did we talk
Oh.
about? 22.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Different Dan.
I was like, wait, did I watch the wrong episode? Were we supposed to skip one? That was my biggest fear. I'll come on here and be like, all right, let's talk about this episode. I start talking. You guys are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, Jacob,
Shit,
you didn't know
what's the wrong
we're
one?
like we've recorded so many episodes. We're actually on the 4th season already.
Well, I know we're shooting ahead, so I didn't know if maybe we like skipped an episode and like maybe
No,
we're gonna come back.
I was thinking about doing that, skipping an episode, but it would just make it too complicated for me. Like I'd be going back, like what? Like doing all this stuff can be.
For
Like,
you.
I don't know how you do it, Triv.
It's
Carefully.
complicated for me to log on here onto Zoom. If you did that, I'd just be like, I quit.
Yeah.
His
I
head
can't
would
do this.
explode.
Right. Oh man. So anyways, how you guys doing today? At the time of this recording, dealing with the hurricane, pretty much gone, but it's kind of destroyed Florida. So there's perspective on when we were
Hurricane.
recording, just to let you know. But how about you guys? How's life? How's everything? Not knowing what the future holds as of right now.
Well, as of this moment, in the not too distant future, hopefully I will have actually uploaded something.
You
Yeah.
did, and it's awesome.
All right.
It got
Yeah, I
100,000
just watched it.
views.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's
That
badass.
scene that you talked about was the funniest thing. I spit taked and
Yeah, that one part near the beginning.
all
oh my
body
God,
fluid
Oh,
came out.
the one with the thing in
You
the
know.
place.
You
Oh
know.
yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, that
Yeah.
was
That touched
masterful
me.
on my part. Oh, I'm glad.
Mastered something. It touched me. It touched me.
Yeah.
Do you feel
It was-
like
it
a
was-
master baker because of it?
Oh my god. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
it was
I
so
just-
important
it's-
that the Mr. Horse actually said, "Yes, sir, I do like it." So that's how important it was. You have now become the Bill and
Bigger
Ted
I think I
of
like
this
it.
episode.
Did
Yeah.
did Judge Judy approve or allow
She
it?
did. She
Good.
did. She absolutely she did.
All right. Good. Good. I was worried.
And it did not.
Well, the funny thing about the future and time, actually, I forgot to ask Jacob, how are you doing?
Uh,
I just gonna go into
good.
the future.
I was
This
going to
is
say
so
good
confusing.
segue. You're having a good segue there. Sorry
know.
to throw it off, but
Uh.
in the future,
In the year
Fantastic.
2000.
in the year 20, I don't know the words. That one
In
song.
the not too distant future.
I think
next
we're all three singing different songs. I'm gonna party like it's 1999 though. Yeah,
Good
yeah.
for
it's-
you.
I know.
Hell
Yeah, we're
yeah.
recording in 1995, but it's really 1999.
Holy shit!
anyways-
I'm 16 years old.
Right? I'm like
Wow.
Got a
12.
nice beard for 16.
I was gonna say, man, that's a classy looking set of hair you got
we
going.
need some of the angels from Doctor Who.
Yeah, please take me back to the 90s. It was a better time.
Mhm.
We're back to the 80s,
Uh,
like that Aqua song. Back at
right.
the 80s.
So speaking of time and time travel and things of time,
Ooh,
we're talking a time travel episode, which should make
Yeah.
Jacob's
appreciate a
number
good
10 on the
segue.
list.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
number.
Jacob-
I'll need to see the. I think 14. 14, I think, is the target. Stay on target.
Right. Right.
Luke, why have you turned off your targeting computer?
Stay on target.
It's like shooting womp rats back in Beggars Canyon.
All I can say is this crew on this plane must have eaten the fish because I don't know where the hell they're going. They're just all over the place. But anyways, this
Do
episode
they speak
is,
jive as well?
Oh
Uh,
man, I thought of that immediately when that old woman. It showed her back there talking.
I was waiting for
immediately
the
thought of that scene.
pilot or the guy to hang himself. You know, just do the whole like sacrificing himself with the sword. He's like, or catch him, set himself on fire, that type of thing. But anyways, the episode we're talking about is one that I personally enjoy. I don't know if it's personally great, but I like the concept because it reminds me of another thing called the Langoliers, which I enjoy for cheesiness that it is.
There's a reason it reminds you of that.
You know, right?
But
It's a
we'll get there.
cheesy ass effects, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it
no,
is.
yeah, there's that. But in all honesty, this was where is it? I went the extra mile today because I watched this early.
Mm.
The well, maybe I didn't go as
Well,
far as I thought.
why
I did.
Jacob's looking for that.
Stephen King took inspiration from this episode for the Langoliers, and actually in the Langoliers, Flight 33. This episode is referenced. Like somebody
you're
thinks
right.
about, hey, this is that. There's this Twilight Zone episode, Odyssey of Flight 33, because he cherry picked some things out of this episode for the Langoliers.
I would not be surprised. He did not actually cherry pick the look of the actual Langoliers because, well, they look
No.
really stupid.
Hey,
Almost as stupid as old stop motion dinosaurs.
they look like something out of a Doctor Who episode. That's what I'll say.
Damn.
Anyways, so the episode we're talking about today once again, I enjoy. I don't know how you guys feel, but of course, is season 2, episode 18, which is called the Odyssey of Flight 33. It is an episode that has a lot of people in it, but is directed by, for first time, Justus, Addiss, who directed 2 other episodes. It's written by Rod Serling, production code 173-3651. Original air date February 24th, 1961. So the last episode of February of that year. Guest stars stars John Anderson, Paul Comi, Sandy Kenyon, Harp McGuire. There's a lot of names, so I'm not gonna read them all. Beverly Brown, Wayne Heffley, and Betty Gard. And
Adrian
also,
Brody Light.
Wait,
yes.
no, sorry.
Adrian Brody Light, that one guy in the back left behind the captain. He looked like fucking Adrian Brody.
Well, I thought the captain of the episode was fucking Robert Stack. He sounds like Robert Stack.
Kind of looked like him.
He does.
Also, Robert Serling, which was Rod's brother, was the consultant for this. They wrote all the cockpit dialogue.
Is he a pilot, or was he a pilot? I'm guessing
he was aviation writer for United Press International.
I mean, they got
He's listed
some
in
things
the
right.
credits as a consultant.
Yes.
Well, they did get some things right, but I don't know if he's really an experienced writer in animatronic dinosaurs.
No, that was someone
In
different.
cockpit, only in the cock.
Yeah, only in the. Although I will say the fact that this episode had both an aviation consultant and a dinosaur sequence operator, dude, that's something different for a Twilight Zone episode.
Was that what it was called? Dinosaur sequence operation, dude?
Yes.
Right on. I like that. I want that on the business card.
I will pony up for those for you.
I love the navigator. It's called Magellan. I just thought that was kind of funny, but anyways, this episode is what I would call a very atypical Twilight Zone episode. It feels like a Twilight Zone episode. It has the weirdness of a Twilight Zone episode, but I don't know if it ends like a Twilight Zone. Maybe it does end like a Twilight Zone episode.
It totally doesn't.
No,
I don't think.
Actually, this is a rare Twilight Zone episode that when we get there, the way this ends apparently is very rare.
Yeah, it feels different. Yeah, it feels different. But so let me ask you guys, as I always do to start out this episode. This apparently is a modern telling of the Flying Dutchman myth, which I guess I don't know much about the Flying Dutchman ship. I know it's like a ghost ship that haunts the
it's
world.
like a ghost ship that attacks people or something, isn't it?
I mean, it's in SpongeBob SquarePants, so that's
I was just about to say, I know everything I know about the Flying Dutchman comes from SpongeBob or Pirates of the Caribbean too.
Yeah. If Bill Nighy's not on this ship, I don't know anything about it. So
yeah, he needs like tentacles.
Okay. Flying Dutchman is a legendary ghost ship alleged never to be able to make port, but doomed to sail the 7 seas forever.
Is Orlando Bloom on the ship?
Not in the original myth. He wasn't born back in the 1600s.
Can they control a sea monster?
Yeah. Someone has his heart.
The Kraken. Release the Kraken.
Anyways, Jacob, do you remember this episode at all? Is this an episode that registered with you?
We talked about that this afternoon after the show. After my show, you had said, do you this episode? Do you remember something? You'd asked me that, and I was like, I don't remember anything about this. I hadn't watched it yet. After I started watching it, though, I didn't remember like every single beat, but I did. I was like, I remember this setup, and like I remembered basically what was going to happen, like the catch and what was going to happen. So, yeah, I remember enough about it. I mean, I wasn't able to sit there and be like, this is what's about to happen, except for some parts that are telegraphed. But I mean, yeah, I vaguely remember it.
It's not a very complex episode. It moves pretty quickly, and it's weird episode. I mean, it's not like a top 10 episode or anything like that, but it has like its charm. Solid. Yeah, it has its charm to it. But what about you?
It's one of those episodes that's just like enjoyable, but it doesn't have like a lot of underlying themes or anything. It's just kind of like, here's what it is. Here's the weird thing, and here's how people deal with it. Twilight Zone.
maybe this is playing as the precursor to 22. I don't know.
Actually,
I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
No.
You're. It's in your name.
No.
Triv. You do it.
Go.
Well, I'm just reading what I pulled off of a website. It just says,
read it.
The previous episode is entitled 22, which we just watched that. The main character is about to board Flight 22. These characters end up, we'll see that'll ruin the end. They end up something 22 and are told to land on runway 22 by traffic control. This episode has Flight 33 in the title. So there's lots of, what do they call those numbers that go either way?
Number,
panels? Not panels.
yeah. Not palindromes, not
yeah, palindrome. It's palindrome.
Is
where
it?
It goes
Oh.
both ways. Yeah, where it goes both ways.
That's what
It's
she
like
said.
Car.
Lots of 22s and palindrome.
Like race car, taco cat, Hannah.
Race.
Taco Cat. I'm gonna name my
Race
podcast
car.
Taco Cat.
Race car.
Race car is the same both ways. Oh
It
my
is.
God. I never knew that.
Taco cat is as well.
I'm no,
Taco
we're
Cat?
changing our podcast from the Fifth Dimension to Taco Cat, a Twilight Zone podcast.
Not
as
sure
long as
that
Judge
works.
Judy-
It's all good.
as long as Judge Judy allows it. So how about you, Trev?
I know I've seen it, and I'm familiar with some of the visuals, but by and large, no, I really didn't. Like I knew basically where it was going because we talked about how it was Langolier, kind of centric, but that was
Yeah,
kind of
but
it.
Bronson
How
Pinchot
could you
doesn't get
forget?
eaten.
How could you forget the next level effects, like Spielbergian effects that they got later on in this episode?
Right.
Hey, those kind of effects, like B movies of that era, they like filmed Gila
Iguana.
monsters. They
Like,
filmed Gila
Komodo
monsters.
dragons.
Yeah, and like up close, and that was done in the 50s. So compared to that, this is actually pretty solid.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
they
watched
put
the
those
movie
things-
where they use a man's dick as a Godzilla monster. Does that
Well,
count?
good.
Jackass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that not long ago.
Oh,
That
God.
was fucking crazy.
So the Odyssey of Flight 33, it's not a very complex episode. It's an episode that literally jumps into the plot before it literally jumps into it. Like they're already in these guys. There's 16,000 pilots apparently in this plane because apparently back in the 1960s and 50s you needed 6 pilots to man a Boeing 707, which
It's only 4.
That's in
there's
there
like
5. I thought there
isn't
was
there like
5 of
18
them.
people?
Oh, was
in
there
there?
5? I thought it was
Yeah, I think-
4. Isn't that
well,
normal?
yeah.
In the airplane, they had 4.
4 and a,
See, I thought it was 5, but maybe it was 4.
Oh, maybe
I thought it was
4.
12.
Well, there's a stewardess.
I mean, we are talking about Dr.
That
Strangelove,
cockpit
right?
did
There's
seem
12
like it
people in
got
that plane.
longer when it showed it from behind. I will say that.
That is the Odyssey of the flight. The plane's actually longer than it appears.
It's bigger on the
So it's
inside.
Spaceballs
TARDIS.
Yeah, it's a Spaceball Twilight Zone episodes.
Oh, good lord.
They
Yeah.
do go to ludicrous speed at one point in time.
I know,
They
right?
do. They really, really do.
They never quite go plaid.
Yeah. Actually,
Um,
this was developed. Serling developed the idea when he learned that American Airlines had a mock-up of a 707 interior that they would make available for TV or production companies.
that makes sense because there's a lot of fucking people in this episode.
Yes.
But though you only see like 3 of them throughout the entire actual episode, there's a lot of people, including old woman who likes to tell stories about her about her kidney. I think it's her kidney or some shit. I
She
don't
speaks
know.
jive too. So
Yes, yeah. Most important
that
thing.
poor pilot was just sitting here going, Do you see outside the window? We're gonna throw you out there with the dinosaur, that type of thing. But anyways, they're flying from London. It's a long flight. They're flying from London to New York City. They're close to Idlewild, which is of course Kennedy Airport. I don't know why it's called Idlewild. I don't know what the reason behind
it didn't
that
get
is, but
turned to Kennedy until after his assassination.
Yes.
I kept thinking of Idlewild, like isn't there's a place in Georgia, Atlanta called Idlewild or something like
There's
that?
a movie
yeah.
called Idlewild with
It
Andre
takes place in
3000.
Georgia.
Yeah,
It takes place in
there's actually a place called Idlewild or something like that in Atlanta.
Well, there's
anyways.
streets. There's a street where I used to live called Idlewild. So I mean,
Oh, is there?
yeah, I guess it's kind of
Did
like
you
Elm
live in
Street
Did
or-
you live in Georgia?
No,
No.
never lived in Georgia.
But we're basically introduced to the captain, the skipper, Farber. He needed
Beans.
a liter of cola.
He likes a nice
Oh.
shanty.
Idlewild.
Idle. Is that a palindrome?
Idlewild. No, it was. It's not a pie. It's not a.
Wild-
not
God,
a-
Jesus!
it's not a-
a
it's not-
palindrome.
It's not a palindrome.
It's not a
It's not.
palindrome.
It's not
It's not a
turbulence, it's a
palindrome.
tumor.
Get to
Not
the
a palindrome.
chopper. Get to the chopper. Idlewild was named after the Idlewild Beach golf course that it displaced.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
They Idlewild 6 times too fast.
I did.
Idlewild, for God's sake.
Idlewild. He sells seashells down by the seashore.
Idlewild.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could wood? Could woodchuck a toe?
Art Deco dildo.
Art Deco dildo.
Art Deco dildo.
Art Deco dildo.
She was singing that
Deco
before you
dildo.
came on, by the way.
Not sure
Well,
why.
no, when I came on, I just heard chanting of dildos or something. I was like,
shit. Okay, so this before Rod speaks and gives his 6 mile an hour, 6 million line
Yes.
dialogue speech,
20 minutes in.
they're basically, these pilots are flying from London to New York. Flight attendant, she enters like Leslie Nielsen, and of course, was that Airplane movie, and she's like, can we get there soon, because we want to get to New York soon because all of us are thirsty, and we want to go out with our men, and
oh my God, that whole part, it's like, what the?
It's so out of the blue and just so
I'm going
weird.
to the
It's like,
opera tonight. Gonna get it.
yeah, fly the Valkyries.
Yeah.
We're gonna flight out
We're
our
gonna fly the
flight out
Valkyries.
our
I'm gonna
panties.
Flight all over his ass tonight. Let's fly the bumblebee. Whatever.
No, they did straight up missionary back then.
Hey, man,
There's no Mile High Club in that.
Hit some doggy style.
Well,
Little
that was there. They
front
called it
cowgirl.
Idlewild back before JFK.
Ooh, yeah, she getting idlewild. You idle, she's wild. I'm going wild. You take idle.
Yeah, the main pilot, Farver Beans, asked for if they felt anything like a sensation of speed.
Hey,
But
Farva!
like a liter of cola.
This is Captain Fava Beans. That's in my notes. Captain Fava Beans. He likes a nice shanty.
With that said, before Rod Serling comes on to talk, they are talking about how they basically, their speed of the plane is faster and faster. It's like they're going, faster and faster and faster to whatever dimension they're going to. And if you hit a jet stream, I know that it's possible to like your speed to go faster than the ground speed. And basically nobody's answering them. There's like at some point there's like a really loud explosion which causes them to lose everything, all their gadgets and gears and stuff like that. But they go up to 3,000 knots, which is like, I think, almost as fast as a jet plane, not a jet plane, but a fighter jet goes.
Yeah, they hit Mach 1.
It's 1,000 more than 2,000.
No shit. But I mean, it pretty much is a good setup. It's given us enough information about they're going too fast and they're going in places that they don't know and they can't get a hold of anybody. And then the stewardess comes out after she gave her like winded speech about being thirsty and stuff like that, and Rod Serling just comes from the side and starts talking, and that's Rod Serling's speech.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes into the episode, by the way. Rod comes on.
Yeah, there's only 5 minutes of actual episode.
The next 5 minutes of the episode is just him talking. You're riding on a jet aeroliner en route from London to New York. You're at 35,000 feet atop an overcast and roughly 55 minutes from Idlewild Airport. But what you've seen occur inside the cockpit of this plane is no reflection of the aerocraft or the crew. It's a safe, well-engineered, perfectly designed machine. And the men you've just met are a trained, cool, highly efficient team. The problem is simply that the plane is going too fast, and there's nothing within the realm of knowledge, or at least logic, to explain it. Unbeknownst, good word, to passenger and crew, this aeroplane is heading into an uncharted region, well off the beaten track of commercial travelers. It's moving into the Twilight Zone. What you're about to see, we call the Odyssey of Flight 33.
That is a lot of words and very descriptive. And,
well done, though.
And he didn't end it with Twilight Zone. He said Twilight Zone, and then he had more to say.
At that
I'm used
point,
to ending
like,
it with
son of a bitch.
in the Twilight Zone. But no, it was like Twilight Zone. Hey, that's in the middle of the fucking words. What's going on here? We're in the fucking Twilight Zone.
He's basically explaining a plane that's going to do some remarkable things. And he breaks it down to like a very sexy, very provocative talk of a plane.
Oh yeah.
And the plane and the passengers.
I mean,
well,
sure,
that too.
baby.
He's talking about beaten track and commercial travelers, the sexy things in airline travel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
this is what
back
like
in the
people were-
day.
and he calls it aeroplanes the whole time.
Right.
He didn't say airplane. He's
just leaning up against the seat, like cool and calm.
He's like
and,
adding extra syllables to the word.
Robots.
Robots on aeroplanes.
I forgot
Actually,
to
if you go to the UK, it's AERO plane. Like that's how they spell airplane.
Yeah, but he's from like
we're in
New Jersey or
America.
something.
Yeah, but it's flying from the UK.
Yeah, but that's like those people when you go to like a Mexican restaurant and like in America, and you got these American people and they're sitting there and they'll be like, and they start speaking like broken ass Spanish to the waiter. I'm not even going to try because I don't speak Spanish, but they like start trying to say things and like roll their R's, but they're just kind of gargling their fucking tongues. And they're like saying these things. And I just like look at these waiters and waitresses and I'm like, I bet they're just sitting there like, fucking gringo, shut the fuck up. Just say, I speak English, just say what the fuck you want. Don't try and talk to me in my native tongue because you're not doing a good job at it.
With that said, do you think this episode would have worked out better if they were going from Australia to Los Angeles?
They would have rioted on the plane.
Yeah. You don't think the plane could have crashed?
Then it's called a Flappy Bird.
You don't think the plane like if it got lost, it could crash an island? And
I mean, that's what happened to Amelia Earhart, right?
Sure. Yeah, it could have crashed on an island with a fucking polar bear.
Yeah,
right.
It could have had some hatches,
smoke monster
and smoke,
and they could actually be dead at the end.
Monster,
possibly.
It could possibly
like, what the hell are you talking about?
Could possibly like springboard a director's career.
All of a sudden, they're on a minnow or the minnow.
Yeah,
they went for a 3-hour tour. A
hot chick
hour tour
and another chick.
maybe they're like flying over. They're like
that one.
Maybe they're flying over and somebody goes, the plane. So I gotta be honest with you guys. Like
be honest. Tell us the truth.
There's not really much to talk about with this episode, and the simple fact that like it's about them lost, not knowing where they're at. They think they're going to Idlewild, to the airport. They somehow get stuck in some vortex of, Langolier aspects, insanity, where they speed up, they go through a big bang, and then they're like, the pilot's like, what we have to do? We have to serve drinks to the people and not tell them, which we should do. And then
cigarettes too.
Yeah, sell cigarettes because the pilot smokes cigarettes, which
Nick,
is amazing.
I feel like you were leading our viewers down a Lulu of a jet stream. One Lulu of a jet stream. I need you to be a good egg and talk about how great this episode is.
Well,
no soap,
clearly,
man, no soap.
I mean, clearly we're in the Flight of the Valkyries right now. We're actually in the thick of it, that type of thing. So and if you're not careful, at some point some naked chick's gonna run across. But no, like the best part is just the old woman talking about her liver or someone's liver. And like I said, we talked about this already, but the liver talk is like, it's good stuff. It's like, do you like would you like some cream and sugar with your coffee? No, I like my coffee black like my men.
The slots. They're like the slots. Hey buddy, check out this old chick. She's really cool. She's a slut.
But anyways, like basically what it boils down to is they're running out of fuel. They only have 71,000 pounds of fuel, which is a lot for the moment. But as you're aware, if you fly too long, the gas goes down to zero and you eventually crash.
Whoa.
Yeah, it tends to happen when you fly 7,000 miles an hour or whatever they fly. They go Mach 13, but
someone's got a lead foot. I think Chief Farva has a lead foot and he didn't want to deal with it, so he was trying to make for the state line.
I mean,
And
they
then
hit
they
Mach
just did,
1,
they
but
did the
they ain't
Superman
shit.
thing.
They ain't shit till they hit Mach 10 like Tom Cruise.
True.
I know,
They
right?
ain't about shit.
But you're also
It-
talking the 60s, so they couldn't really reach Mach 2 because they didn't have Viagra.
They could fucking time travel.
Yeah,
I
but that's
know.
different
They-
than reaching
all they need
Mach
to do
10.
is they need to do Superman, just
It'll-
fly backwards and
Just
you
get a
know.
Lulu of a jet stream.
right.
I feel like
but-
we're getting our wires crossed.
That's this episode. The wires are crossed. That's why they're not working. There's a gremlin on the plane. Some
No,
point
it's a
they'll
different
see.
episode.
Give me
No, at
legs
some
like
point
rubber.
they'll see like at some point William Shatner will show up and he'll be looking out the plane going, "It's a gremlin, Captain. It's a gremlin.
Yeah.
Scotty, is there a gremlin outside the plane?"
That is highly illogical, Captain.
Mr. Scott, what is that on the plane? On the wing?
Can I fuck
That's
it?
a dinosaur. This could be the basis for Dinosaur the show. I mean, you never know. It could be his grandpa. It could be like, I'm surprised we didn't see like Fred Flintstone outside,
Not that
working
dinosaur.
with the.
It's more like
Yabba dabba
Dinotopia.
doo. All of a
It's what
sudden-
with Wentworth Miller.
Who was the little Gazoo, right? The little magical dude
Oh,
from
Zoo Kid?
Flintstones.
yeah,
Oh.
the time traveler.
Yeah,
Flintstone knowledge is superior to mine, clearly, because I don't know who
I
the fuck
have
you're talking about.
random.
No, like when they were losing viewership, they decided they were going to combine the Flintstones and the Jetsons by having this, like, I don't know, space creature that would
It's
talk
like
to Fred
Batmite,
Flintstone.
kind of,
Yeah,
It's like Q from Star Trek
kind of.
came in and
But he's
said,
tiny
"Alakazoo."
and he like flies and shit.
Gotcha. Cool.
He's like Batmite and yeah, kind of a weird. All
Check that
those,
out.
yeah.
so anyways, they hit Mach 1. They try to keep the passengers calm by lying to them. They only have 71,000 pounds of fuel. They decide that they're going to risk the danger of everyone on board by flying, below the clouds or whatever they call it. Nobody can get a hold of anybody. The pilot that was talking to the liver lady, leave her alone because she wouldn't stop talking. Liver alone.
Liver lady, liver alone.
But I love, instead of showing, they just tell, they're like, they look outside after they've gone, from down below to
That's what
basically. So, no, but they go down there,
No.
like they're explaining.
She
There's
went
no
down below.
buildings. They explain that they're seeing Manhattan Island, but there's nothing there. There's no buildings, no people.
no
And,
skyline.
But there is something.
I love how they just explain it. They don't actually show anything. They're just like, you know what? We don't have enough budget. We need to spend all our money on this animatronic, I guess, claymation dinosaur. Because next thing they go, what they see next is a dinosaur, which of course are dead. They're not alive. And it's just like one dinosaur with, its head moves like up and down a little bit. Like,
Brontosaurus.
Yeah, $2,500, making it
It's a
the
long
most
neck.
expensive. The expense of 2 brief shots ran $2,500, making it the most expensive footage of the original Twilight Zone.
they spent $2,700 on that one shot. It's crazy.
2 shots.
No one, 2 shots. No wonder why they had
What-
to like go and do videotape episodes. They spent on one, like the 2 shot with dinosaur.
This fucking dinosaur looks like they took like a handful of Tootsie Rolls and squished them together and formed out a fucking dinosaur.
It looks like the dinosaur
Declamation
from the
out of
Weird
it.
Al music video.
Oh, good
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, it has a charm to it. But I gotta say, within the world of this episode, they are real fucking calm to have just seen a fucking dinosaur. Like they see a dinosaur, they're like, Skipper, tell me what I'm seeing here. And they look, they go, yeah, it's a dinosaur. We're not in our time anymore. I'm
Yeah.
like, are you fucking kidding me? I'd be like, holy fuck, it's a fucking dinosaur. Oh my god.
You would look like the guy. You would
Fucking
look
long
like,
neck over there.
You look like what's his face from Airplane, like sweat just like pouring down your face.
Yeah.
But that's the act break, dinosaur, no buildings, no planes, sonic boom, sound
There's all kinds of
barriers.
shit. This is,
Yeah.
in all seriousness, this is like a hell of an act break because there's only like 4 or 5 minutes left when they come back.
True.
Like this act break was practically the end of the episode.
Well, yeah, I mean it's crazy, but I gotta ask you guys, from this episode, as of the act break, before we know anything else, did you find this episode like worthy of a Twilight Zone episode? Do you feel like this was a good episode? Like, where do you guys stand on it?
I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, it's probably not one that I'll go back and revisit often, but to see, like, to know that it was good enough to make Stephen King go, hey, you know what? This is pretty cool. What can I use this, and then take it and then turn it into something, although not like perfect. The Langoliers story is actually quite interesting. And the idea of like Dawn, like of the previous day being eaten by creatures, I always thought was a really cool concept. So
yeah, and how they portray like flat soda and flat, foods that don't taste right, and the fact that like when what's her face is like stabbed, she doesn't bleed or anything like that, which is really interesting.
Right. There's a lot of cool stuff that comes from this. So I love the fact that, because you probably wouldn't have seen something like this. I mean,
it's scary to think about. Like, this shit happens to you. I mean, not saying it would ever happen because this is the Twilight Zone, but just think about like if this were a phenomenon where, like, you, for instance, you were in the what's that, Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. Like, just the fact that, like, whether you believe it or not, there are so many stories of planes that go missing or end up someplace that they shouldn't. Like, there's a lot of weird crap that happens when pilots are flying, and to have like that kind of
all of these pilots are estranged fathers with lots and lots of child support backed up has nothing to do with it. The population of Bermuda itself has increased threefolds.
It'd be like heaven for them. Like, we don't have to go back. We don't have to pay child support.
Well, considering the way that they were all horny on Maine, at the beginning of the episode, I mean, makes sense.
I like this episode. I do think it's worthy of a Twilight Zone. It's not like super deep, but I thought it was well done. It was interesting. Even though I remembered basically where it was going, I still had a good time with it. It was never slow. It's not like the fastest episode in the world, but it was never boring. There's something happening the whole time. It's pretty straightforward and to the point. It wasn't like this is the top 10, number 5 episode or anything, but I thought it was entertaining. I had a good time with it. Up to this point.
Yeah. I mean, it's an episode that almost feels like a filler episode that still is a Twilight Zone episode. It's one of those episodes where maybe they were like, you know what, we have a premise. It's not going to be the most, as you said, like deep premise. It's not really going to have any meaning or concepts. It feels like an episode that is geared towards like interesting more than it is thought provoking. But yeah, it's an episode that has entertainment. I don't know what else, but fun.
Yeah, it's better than The Trouble with Templeton.
Yes.
Yeah. And better next week's Dingle the Strong. I'll give it that much. But yeah, but coming back from the act break, now that only the pilots have apparently seen the dinosaurs, nobody else has, because nobody else freaks out. They have to decide what to do, and they only have 30 pounds of fuel. So apparently they lost 40,000 pounds going through whatever this vortex is, and basically they decide that they're going to break the sound barrier again and go do exactly what they did. And they tell the passengers to hold on. They're gonna go back up, all this stuff, and that's when the steward comes in. The stewardess, the flight attendant, comes in like Liam Neeson. I just want to let you guys know,
we're all Leslie Nielsen.
Or did I say Liam Neeson? Yeah, Leslie Nielsen. We're all counting on you, and don't call me Shirley, that type of thing. But she's like complaining about the passengers freaking out because of the sound. They break the sound barrier. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're more freaked out about the fact they may have seen dinosaurs outside their window than they are about. She's like, somebody hurt themselves. And I'm like, these people are either super rich and super spoiled, or they've seen many dinosaurs and nothing worries them, but they're like, they're complaining. I'm like, why are you complaining? You should be happy you're alive and not being eaten by a T-Rex,
It was a different era, though. I mean,
like, when they got eaten by T-Rexes instead
of
like,
that, but it's also, I mean, flying in the 60s wasn't as, routine as it is today. So
yeah, them seats look comfortable, by the way.
Yeah.
I want those types. I want those types of seats. I want to be able to smoke. I want to be able to talk to a liver lady, not have like people next to me that I don't know that complaining kids. But they find themselves back in New York City, what they think is a present, and they call the flight communicator or whatever communications person, and they're like, they can't get a hold of anyone at Idlewild, Idlewild, and so they call the Guardian. They call the Guardia, and there's there's a whole big commotion about, wait, who are you? What's a jet plane? And I love that Captain Farmer's like, I like that how Captain Farmer's like, it's like a big metal tube, and there are 4 big engines, and they make sounds.
Big hungry engines.
Yeah.
I got 4 big, fat, throbbing, hungry engines up here.
Oh my
chewing
God!
Up all this fuel.
Sir, we're too big for the runway.
Yeah, it's only 5,000 feet runway.
I know we're big, but just don't clench up. It's gonna be okay.
So, anyways, they look out the window, and I don't know how they film, like how they expect this to be like a plane shot, but we see the New York World's Fair, and I don't know, whatever that is, but they realize that they're in 1939. It's World's Fair. We see like what would be the early inclinations of the Epcot ball, I guess you could say. And
dude, it looks so cool. Like, I want to go there.
Well, you can't.
Damn it.
I wouldn't be surprised if like the dinosaur was inspiration to even Walt Disney, because he did a ride that was, I think it was energy, something of energy, and they had like dinosaurs in there. It was really cool. So basically how this episode ends is they decide not to land, and they decide to tell the passengers about the situation, which they do. And basically they fly off to maybe hit the jet stream again, and hopefully land before they crash and all their fuel is gone. It's pretty crazy. But
I was upset that when they told the passengers, they didn't all like lose their shit, and we get a scene of all of them like running through the aisle going crazy, and of course the one topless lady that comes to the and then runs off. What the fuck, Twilight Zone? Get it together.
Like I said, they ate the fish. So
well, they didn't even do a thing like they did from Airplane 2 where they all turn into Richard Nixon.
I don't think he was around then, but whatever.
That is true. Assume crash positions.
Anyways, that's the end of the episode. What do you guys think overall? I know, Jacob, you said you enjoyed it, but like, was there anything after the act break that made it better, worse, or what do you guys think?
I mean, it was pretty much the same. Like I said, I remembered where it was going, so that was kind of lost to me. Even if I didn't, though, I just kind of feel like I would have picked it out. I mean, maybe not the dinosaur specifically until you figure out, oh, that's what. But after that, especially, that they clearly were not back in their own time. Especially when the guy was like, "Oh, what? What are you doing?" I was like, "Yeah, they're just not far back enough, or they're not far forward enough. They're too far back." So it wasn't like surprising, but I like the ending because it was different. It was like it's left up in the air, and what we were talking about in the beginning. This is the rare, according to the trivia, one of the rare Twilight Zone episodes that does not have a conclusive ending or any sort of plot resolution. If you think about it, that's true. I mean, you have some things that are left up in the air, but usually there's some type of resolution to a degree. This was just like, oh, we still out here flying around, trying to figure this shit out, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you end it? I guess they could have had them get back, and they're just like, oh, we're home. Okay, let's go land.
Yeah, but that would have made the episode like a really shitty episode.
Yeah.
Like having them not know where they're going is kind of like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
that sucks, but good luck to you.
Yeah.
Good luck to you, Scotty.
Maybe they end up
it
in
subverts expectations.
2030 or something.
Yeah.
Apparently they're like Sam Beckett in Quantum Leap. they go to each time zone and just pray they get back home, but never do. Well, you have anything you want to add?
I mean, Jake pretty much covered it. It was a solid episode. It was cool that it subverted expectations, and I guess not knowing how this episode was received by your average audience back then, whether they clamored for an ending, the fact that they actually got away with that, especially considering how the studio execs to this point have taken a certain amount of control, I thought was kind of cool. And that's a small thing, and that's kind of conjecture on my part, but
Right.
The fact that it wasn't a spoon-fed ending, that you could, it was left kind of, as a cliffhanger you're never gonna get resolution on, was nice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ambiguous.
Yeah, it's very.
Exactly. But with that said, let's go ahead and do the closing narration. I think we all agree it's a pretty decent episode. So.
Yeah, very.
Jacob, do it.
It's not as long as the opening, but
That's
it's
what she
still-
said.
It's it's not as big as the opening, but it's still pretty beefy. Okay.
Long tube.
I haven't read this one either, so here we go. A global jet airliner en route from London to New York on an uneventful afternoon in the year 1961, but now reported overdue and missing, and by now searched for on land, sea, and air by anguished human beings, fearful of what they'll find. But you and I know where she is. You and I know what's happened. So some moment, any moment, you hear the sound of a jet engines flying atop the overcast. Engines that sound searching and lost, whatever that sound is. Engines that sound desperate. Shoot up a flare or do something. That would be Global 33 trying to get home from the Twilight Zone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Beautifully done.
What
Beautifully
does a
done.
desperate engine sound like?
Oh.
Help me!
Yeah, you're just one day you hear, oh me. You're just engine, help me. Man,
Four
help
engines.
me.
Four big,
Four engines.
thirsty engines.
I know, right? Four big, sexy engines.
It sounds like a
Um,
Willem scream.
So yeah, that's the episode. It's like I said, it's not like the most complex episode. It doesn't have a lot to it. Like Triv said earlier, it's very authentic apparently to the way they speak in the cockpit, as you guys said. So you guys have anything to add before we move on?
I don't think so. I mean, it's like I said, it's a relatively straightforward episode. There's not a ton of like deep internal meanings with this. It's kind of an adventure episode, and that's kind of where it sits, I think.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, with that said, we'll head into the last segment, which is always the Twilight Zone ranking list, the greatest list that only us can come up with, because ranking lists are stupid and pointless, and we have the best.
But this one is awesome.
Exactly. I don't even know where to begin with this episode. Like,
I was thinking somewhere around 15.
you would, wouldn't you? I don't know.
The
What do you guys
midway
think?
point 20 episodes ago.
That's a
I
good
mean-
question. I mean, it's a solid episode.
Mm.
There's been so many like solid episodes.
Is it above 30?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say.
Let's see, is it better than the Abe Lincoln episode?
Back there.
Yeah. Is it better than that? Oh shit. Is it better? Let's see. World of Difference. Is it better than the Most Unusual Camera?
I love Most Unusual Camera, but they got two 18s in there.
Oh, I know. We're at like 50
Not a big deal. I'm just saying.
fixes
I mean,
before I forget.
A lot of people have a hard time fitting two 6s in there. You fit two 18s in there, you are talented.
Exactly.
You have a talented
It's a
career
really-
ahead of you.
This is a really sexually charged episode behind the scenes, isn't it?
Oh yeah. The whole
That's
episode
just
takes
this
place
episode.
inside
And
of a
we're not even talking about the.
fuselage.
Yeah, exactly.
So we got What You Need, of course, is the episode that Jake bases his video on at the beginning, which is the guy selling stuff.
Oh.
Mhm.
Do you think it's better than that episode?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time with this one. Like, it's a solid episode. It just, I don't know.
I don't think it has as much to say as What You Need.
No.
That doesn't necessarily have to dictate its entertainment value.
I mean, it's already above dick to phone. It doesn't dictate.
Or dick around.
Or dick a bit. Oh, let's see.
Is this better than The Hitchhiker? I don't think
No.
it is.
No, it's not that high, I don't think.
Is it? Is this better than Execution or The After
Yeah,
Hours?
I would
Better
I
than
would
Execution.
yeah, I would honestly I would put it around what you need, or sorry, like underneath what you need, sort of
What
what
I
you
need
need
is for it to
back
be
there.
under 15.
I don't think you're gonna get it this time.
I had
Oh,
height
is this
music and
better?
everything
Actually,
planned.
is this better than the whole truth and passage for trumpet?
The whole truth.
I'm thinking of like in that area,
YM.
the whole truth,
Yeah.
passage for trumpet, the after
Yeah.
hours, somewhere in there.
I could
I
see
liked
that.
it more than the whole truth. I liked it more than Passage for Trumpet. I didn't think Passage for Trumpet was that great. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was that great. I think you guys liked that one more than I did.
It had some cool stuff going for it. I mean, the episode itself,
Yes.
it was kind of that whole like,
I thought it was fine. I just
Yeah.
didn't. I think
No,
you
I
guys
get
were a little
you.
bit higher on it than I was.
Yeah.
Is it better than back there?
Which one is back there?
Back there is the
Abraham
guy
Lincoln.
that tries to stop Abraham Lincoln's
yeah, yeah.
assassination.
Yeah. Back there had some weird. This is more solid than back there. Back there had cool ideas, but it had some really weird shit going on in the episode, like the acting being all over the place and just kind of like grandiose and other questionable things.
I'd say I would be cool putting it between back there and what you need.
The below mirror image and nice place to visit, world of difference.
I would put it underneath what you need. That would be where I would put it at this point.
That's where I always put everything I need right under it.
I mean, grr, baby. What do you guys think, though?
I don't give a shit. It's not going above 15. That's what... I don't get to play my hype music now. Damn it.
Do you really want to put this at? Do you really want to put this episode above Perchance?
Yes. No. I mean, yeah, I do. I know it's not going to. Honestly, if and no shit, if the hitchhiker wasn't right under, the hitchhiker been fucking me up. I kind of want to hate it now because it's, since Perchance to Dream is right above the hitchhiker's a better episode than a lot of other ones. It's really hard to argue that one. I can argue Perchance to Dream. Hitchhiker, I can't argue down off of that one because it's a better episode than a lot of these ones that I'm trying to get up there. Son of a bitch. Fine, where you said put it.
Well, no, I don't want it. I don't want it to be based on me alone.
No, I'm with you. I do think that it's right around in that area of what did we say? Back there and what you need.
Thereabouts, yeah.
So below what you need, and then above back there.
You below what you need.
Yes, below what you need. Or mirror. I actually like this one more than mirror image.
Oh yeah,
I'm not trying to throw a monkey wrench in there, and I'm truly not trying to get it up on the list. But I look and I see mirror image. That's another one that I think you guys were a little bit higher on than I was.
No, go for it.
I do think A Nice Place to Visit was better than this one, so I wouldn't go. For me, I wouldn't go any lower than 20.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Or actually, I guess that'd be 21 because the double 18 thing, huh?
Yeah.
You get the DP going.
So above mirror image, below nice place to visit, or below mirror image?
Above mirror image, below a nice place to visit.
So number 21.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nick?
I'm whatever. I don't. There's not really a place to put this episode because it's so. It's a Twilight Zone episode, but it feels like a middle of the road Twilight Zone episode, and it just.
That's where we've reached, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's like, what do you guys think? I don't give a fuck. Wherever.
No, it's not that I don't care. It's just it's one of those episodes that
it could be fit into that whole middle area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could say it's like one of the top 10 episodes, and I guess that would be all right. But it's like when you think about it, like where does it honestly go? Like what our list is so wild and crazy as it is. Like you could put an episode like this at 21 and. It probably would work. So, I mean,
well, and we've got 3 very distinctive ways of judging episodes too. So this isn't going to be like any one specific list.
Yeah.
What if it had hit 15? It would have been like.
No, we have plenty. We have plenty of episodes that could be above. Perchance to Dream. We have the Silence. We have the Shadow Play. Will the real Martian please stand up? And of course, the Obsolete Man coming in the next few weeks. So. I think we're gonna be just fine.
Not enough.
All right, let's end this episode. So, anyways, with that said, new number 21 is gonna be the Odyssey of Flight 33. That leads, of course, pretty good spot for it. But number 1 is, of course, still the Eye of the Beholder. Number 54 is the Trouble with Templeton. And yeah, so next week's episode, I know, Triv, that you enjoy this episode, so I'm not gonna like bash on it too much, but I don't hear good
go
things.
for it.
No, I don't hear good things about this episode, so I that's just where I lie. But it's of course season 2, episode 19, which is called Mr. Dingle the Strong. It's directed by John Brom, written by Rod Serling. This of course has some really big actors in it, including Burgess Meredith, Don Rickles, and James Westerfield, and some other people like Greg Irwin and stuff like that. But you know, Don Rickles and Burgess Meredith in the episode, yeah, somewhat interesting. So with that said, that'll do it for our episode 7, season 2, episode 18 discussion of course, the Odyssey of Flight 33. And Jacob, Triv, as always, a pleasure. Like I said, next week we may have Bongo on, who, if you know anybody in our circle, Bongo's very much a fun individual to talk to. It's gonna be a wacky episode, I'm sure. So hopefully everything works out and he'll be on for that. So anyways, Jacob, you're here.
Yes, I am.
We do. I help you with a wacky show called the Almost Awesome show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you call it a podcast. I keep calling it a podcast, but it's actually a show that you do on your channel. But where can they find that channel and your content?
You can find my channel on YouTube, the Jacob Andrews Reviews, where I do the Almost Awesome Show with Nick Tweekly twice a week, every Wednesday and Saturday, as of right now, at 2:00 Central Time. Come by and check out all the festivities. Talk about movies and other entertainment news. Sometimes we do reviews. Sometimes we do reviews on the spot. Sometimes they're pre-recorded. We just got all kinds of stuff. You never know what we're going to do. It's fucking insanity.
They could end up with dinosaurs.
We could. Tootsie Roll dinosaurs. Either way, it's a pretty good time. Come hang out in the chat and talk and see what we're getting up to. And if you miss it and you're interested in seeing it, though, I do put out little snippets of it throughout the week from the show. And you can check those out on my channel as well. And of course, check me out on Twitter and all those other places where I don't really tweet that much, but I'm there and I'm listening and always watching.
So
good
dirty.
times.
Miss Theater, your turn.
So just celebrated 1K. So woohoo.
Yeah,
you can
congratulations.
Find me, cheers. You can find me here on the YouTubes at Trivial Theater. You can also find me on Twitter at Trivial Theater. Post random crap on Twitter, and one of these years we'll get stuff back up on the YouTubes, especially with October coming. There should be quite a lot of content. So
excellent. With me, you can find me at Movie Emporium. That's where my content is held. A bunch of videos I'm sure I've posted since this video went live. Don't know what it is, but I'm sure I've seen.
It's awesome.
Things.
Guaranteed.
It's yeah, it's cool. So
unlike mine, it's almost awesome.
Yes.
But also you have audio feeds for the podcast, which are was it Anchor and iTunes and Amazon and Google Play and all that good stuff. So with that said, for this week we're done. And for myself, Triv, and Jacob, we'll see you guys next time in the Twilight Zone. Peace out.
Adios.
Muchachos.
All I could think was Super Troopers, like, hey, Farba!
Meow.
I hate that fucking movie. I fucking hate that movie. I'm like the only person on earth. I'm the only person on earth who hates that fucking movie. I've never even watched it all the way through.
What's wrong with you, Meow?
I fucking hate that shit.